on today's Addictive Fishing.
Baby.
There you go. Oh my goodness.
Big old fish.
Coming completely out of the water.
Oh yeah, baby. Look at that, baby, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. That is a trout and a half there.
This is Addictive Fishing.
The black drum, baby.
For the next 30 minutes, you'll see why fishing is so addictive. We'll show you the most awesome rod bending, drag screaming action. So hang on to your seats for this week's journey on Addictive Fishing.
Notice up on that one island, Blair, direction of the salt cedars that are up there.
Yeah.
Good indication of where our prevailing winds come from.
No doubt about that southeast wind. I mean, just like you say, you can tell. Look at those trees, y'all. So, Dwayne, are you originally from here?
Yes, I grew up in Alvin, Texas. We fished a lot of Galveston Bay, Bass Drop area, Chocolate Bayou area, and kind of the area where I started out fishing, learning how to fish, different techniques.
You know, when I first started fishing here, I was wondering, you know, how in the world am I going to fish this wind? This wind is just like, it's relentless. And one thing that I teach at this IMG school that I'm teaching at now, the Professional Fishing Academy, is let the wind be your friend. Making as long as casts as we can possibly do with these spoons, and we're covering as much ground as we can. Eventually, your lure is going to come across the right place at the right time and find a hungry fish, and bam, it's game on. Tiny bubbles in my beer makes me happy, makes me full of cheer. Tiny bubbles in my cold duck.
There's a fish.
Dwayne's got him one on.
This is a redfish.
That's your red?
Yep.
You gonna put that power pole down now?
Yeah.
Okay, it's down. Hang on, we're gonna spin. That wind's got us. Woohoo! Like a roller coaster. I'll hop down, you just swing him around when he's ready. You can stay up there if you want. Unless you're gonna get blown off.
Nah.
That is a nice fish there. That gold color in the water. Oh yeah, that's one they want in them tournaments, ain't it? I got you a grown one there, don't you?
Yeah.
Come on up front.
Come on, darling.
Give up. There Now, yeah, came right on out. That is a fat daddy there. Let's see how much he goes here.
Oh my goodness.
Like close to 9 pounds. I'd say it would be. That's a fat dog. He's been munching some fish. Well, we're fishing the lower Laguna Madre now. We got Captain Dwayne Clark on the boat, and we're gonna be tossing for redfish first off this morning. We might go for a little bit of trout later on, but man, what a beautiful fish for a tournament.
Wonderful fish.
Well, what do you say we get this one back in the water? Unless you're redfish hungry.
Nah, just put her back in the water.
We're gonna look at the belly on this thing. Big belly. That's a big old belly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh! Well, I was gonna try to count the spots for you, but he kind of wet everything. Like I say, we're fishing with Captain Dwayne Clark right here in the Laguna Madre, one of my favorite places to fish. And it reminds me so much of home because, I mean, you don't have the tidal flow here just like we do. And I always said if you're wading along and you can teleport yourself from from the lower Laguna Madre back to where I live in Cocoa Beach area, you would not know the difference of where you were at if you were just stayed looking down in the water. It's that similar. But I'd go for another one of those, at least one of those. Good job,
So
brother. Y'all stay tuned, we'll be right back. Well, welcome back. One thing we're gonna do, we've relocated the boat. One thing we're gonna do a little bit different on this drift that I've learned how to do in South Texas here is throw a windsock out. And all a windsock is, these little babies right here, compliments of Captain Jeff. It's gonna slow our drift down very slow. Toss it out, let her fill up with water. There it goes. And as you can see, what happens with this windsock, what it does, it blows up like a parachute and it just slows your drift way down. That way you don't really just burn across the flat really fast. It gives you a lot more time to work the flat. So let's work the flat.
Let's work it.
Dwayne, I know everybody in Texas loves throwing bait casters, but I'm a spinning reel myself. I love throwing a spinning rod. Do you ever throw spinners?
I do sometimes. I like the bait casters because I like the control that I get more from a bait caster compared to a spinning reel. If I'm throwing real light plastics or real light jigs, I'll switch to a spinning reel to give me more sensitivity and more control throwing lighter tackle.
You know, Dwayne, one thing being on the tour, you know, casting so much, so many times with a spinning rod, you know, you cast with your right hand with a spinning rod. And one thing that I've learned or taught myself how to do now with a bait caster is to cast as far as you can with your left hand. That way you don't have to sit there and change hands once you cast. So the ambidextrous fisherman.
I've taught myself to cast left-handed. I don't do it very much or very often for when I got lots of people on my boat.
Yeah.
This way I can cast both left-handed or right-handed if need be.
Oh, that felt like a good pop. Come on now.
One of the old adages a fisherman once told me that a fish has to eat like we do, so if you find the food, you're gonna find the fish.
Yeah, that is a fact. Now, one area that I always like to work back where I'm from, Dwayne, is wherever you see a lot of the black mullet that are swimming around, jumping around. And one reason is that the mullet are vegetarians and they get down in the grass and they eat all the rotten grass. Now, while they're in there eating all that grass, they're kicking up shrimp and other little fish that, you know, get scared of them because mullet get pretty big. And usually if you find where the mullet are, you're gonna find redfish, or you'll find trout too. You'll find the predator fish because the mullet don't eat the shrimp and they don't eat the little crabs and stuff.
There's a fish. Oh, it's a good redfish.
Good redfish.
He's coming up to the front of the boat. There you are, girl.
We have pretty good weight so far if we were doing that tournament.
Yes, sir.
Not as quite as big as that first one, but he's about done. There he is. Nice little fat redfish. Pretty one, ain't it? That spoon is doing the trick this morning.
He finally ate it over the grass. He come out of that sand spot and started chasing it over the grass, and then he hit it.
There's that spoon out of there. There's a nice little fat little redfish. He's not quite as big as that first one, but he's a nice one. Get on out of here, dude. And he kicks on off. Well, sir, I guess it's time to let Blair get one. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more Addictive fishing. We're gonna finish this flat out, but first we're gonna go to commercial. How far out that island
We're gonna be pretty good ways out.
Okay. What we've done now, we've relocated, and basically we are with definitely the trout man. I know you saw him catch a few redfish, but you just got done winning what, the Texas Trout?
Texas Trout Series Championship.
The winner. So we're gonna show you some big sea trout. Well, with these big trout, is it just trial and error? Are you basically looking the bait, following the bait, or how do you find them out here?
I see something that looks good, you know, no matter what time of day it is, I'll pull up there and I'll look at it. You know, I'll stop and at least give it 15, 20 minutes to see if we catch a fish on it. They've got so much of a home life, I guess you could say. Once you find them in a general area,
Yeah.
Through the summertime, they're gonna stay in that general area.
So once you find where they're at and they kind of get established, they're very territorial once you get them located?
Yes. They're gonna stay in the same general area. They just may move from one grass line to the other, or they may move down, depending on the tides, up the lagoon or back down the lagoon.
Come on, Trotsky. There you go. Little yellowmouth out there coming up. It looks like the 28-incher we're after, but
No. Good, solid keeper fish.
it is the targeted species. See there, just like we're talking about, folks, a nice pretty little trout right there. What size you like your customers to keep and eat? You know, y'all got a limit of what, four or five fish?
10 fish per person.
10 fish per person.
This right here, to me, is the best eating size fish that there is. About 16 and a half, 17.
Go ahead and let that one go. There he is. This might be a little better fish here. Feel that head shaking.
Good.
Oh yeah, baby. What do you see this fish?
All right, there we go. That's what we're looking
That's
for.
a gator, brother. That's the Mogan. That is a trout and a half there. That is a nice trout. Not many spots on him either. Get him good and tired here so he's hooked good in the corner of the mouth with that circle hook. Laser sharp right in the corner, right where it's supposed to be. Man, look at that fish. Yeah, he's all tired out. I want to hold this guy up and get a good view of him.
That's the fish that we're looking for.
Hey, look at that fish. How many inches you think he is there?
She's about 27, 28 inches.
Let's see, we can lay her down. I like to wet that deck though, so we're gonna let her go. We'll wet it right there. Another thing, just like wetting your hands, if you want to measure them, you happen to have a measuring stick like this on the deck, wet it down so the scales don't stick. 27 and a quarter inch sea trout.
All right.
And support the belly. But God, look at that fish. That fish is about as long as my arm right there. And the yellowmouth, just like we've been talking about how their mouth gets so yellow like that. Do you have any idea what causes that yellowmouth? Is it just something in the characteristics of them?
It's just the characteristics of the fish, and also if when you're catching them,
Yeah.
they'll be a brighter yellow in the spring and the fall than what they are in the summertime.
Look at that fish. Not many spots on that one. That's amazing. You know, a lot of times they get just a ton of spots, and sometimes you could count the number of spots on this one. But unbelievable fish. Now look at these fangs in here. That's what they use to grab onto those baits and hold on to them. But wow, what a fish.
Pretty trout.
Well, what do you say we get this one back in the water so you can get another client on the boat and y'all can come catch this fish right here. Because he knew right where that trout was laying. Dwayne, that in anybody's book is an awesome fish. If y'all ever want to do this, make sure you go to the website, addictivefishing.com. Capt Dwayne Clark, he's going to be listed right on there in the charter section. You can come do this. I'm going to retie my hook on. Whew, man, that fish got me shaking, man. I'm going to retie a hook. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more addictive fishing from the Laguna Madre right here in Texas.
Well, this certain spot right here, I'm not quite for sure why they like it. It's all solid grass. There is no sand, no potholes or anything in it, but you can pull up here and catch a couple of real nice fish every day, all the time. Was
this the last spot you hit yesterday when I seen you?
Yes, this is the last spot of the day yesterday, and we pulled a 28-incher out of here yesterday.
28-inch sea trout. That's a good trout anywhere you go. Is he on?
Yep,
oh man, if that's a trout,
I think it's a redfish.
I was gonna say, if that's a trout, bro, you have got the world record trout there. My biggest trout I thought was a snook for the longest time. Oh, look at him go. He's just pulling that drag, ain't he?
Oh, I promise you, if this is a trout, you're gonna see somebody pass out.
Big old dog. I don't know. He looks like he might even measure about 29 inches. say you got what, 30 liter on there?
Yeah, 30-pound leader.
That fish might measure. Put him on the deck. That fish will measure. Get that hook out, we will know in just a second. Let me stick him over here on the official Addictive fishing scale.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
I would have never dreamed in my life it would have been under 28 inches. I believe with that one and the other one that we caught this morning, it put us close to 18 pounds.
He's not as red. He's probably been hanging out on that sandbar up there. A lot of sand up here, you say?
Yeah, there's a lot of sand and a lot of mud.
That is a nice fish. So any of you tournament anglers out there that are coming to South Texas, y'all can come catch these guys because we're gonna let him go. And that one, oh, there he goes. they don't take long to let you know when they're ready, do they?
No, not at all.
Well, you think there's anything else out there? Maybe a big trout here?
We're gonna find out.
All right, well, let's check it out and see.
Rig It Right by Wright and McGill.
Well, we're back at the dock and it's time for the Rig It Right section. I'm gonna show you what we were using out there today for those big gator trout. I was using a number 2. It's an octopus style circle hook right out of the Mogan hook kit. Using 8-pound test Power Pro, something you can really cast out far, and it's light enough where you can feel the slightest little nibble on there. And the bait we were using today, croakers. Same stuff I use down south for the big snook a lot when we're catching them, but today the gator trout, we're absolutely tearing them up. And how we're rigging them, we're just taking this hook and we're putting it right through the tail, just like that, and you got a perfectly rigged croaker. It's a simple, simple rig. Using a 7-foot medium action, it's the Wright McGill Signature Series, and they were doing the job today. Now for the redfish, doing the old classic, the Mogan spoon, the gold one, and ripping it right across the flats out there, and you bring it through the sand spots, which are known as potholes, and when these fish are sitting in the potholes and you rip this spoon across, bam, it's game on and they jump all over it. I'm still using a fluorocarbon leader on here, about a 40-pound test leader. I'm using a 7.9 Signature Series rod, something that I can really reach out and touch these fish with, and when they do hit it, bam, you got the power behind the rod to set the hook and get them to the boat. Now there's your Rig It Right section for today. Now I hope you can come to the lower Laguna Madre here, upper Laguna Madre, catch you some nice big trout and some nice big redfish.
Rig It Right by Wright and McGill.
You said that bouncing just pulls them back up out of the grass, huh?
Pulls them back up off the grass. When you bounce it 3 or 4 times, the first time will pull it up off of the bottom, and the other 2 or 3 times it just shakes off any of the grass that might be accumulated around the bait or on the hook. Whack!
Oh, that looks like a good cinder block.
Oh yeah, there's a good fish. There's a real good trout.
Oh yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, oh, oh yeah.
That's a nice one. God, look at that fish. That is a pretty trout right there, brother. I want to jump right on in here in the boat. Okay, wait a minute, I was just kidding.
It's got a full of energy.
Look at that fish.
Oh yeah.
That is a pretty trout there, folks. Wow, and look how yellow that mouth is. Now to prove to y'all that this is a different trout, look at the teeth. She has lost both her front teeth, and that one there is just now starting to grow back. And if you see my fingers through this fish's mouth, I'm gonna show you something. I get emails all the time to me say, hey, you stuck your fingers through that fish's gills, but I don't have my finger in the fish's gills. It's on the inside of that gill plate, right there where it's not touching the red. Where you don't want to touch and get your fingers in is right here in their gills, because if you do that, it'll end up damaging them, and then they'll end up dying. I'm gonna get this fish back in the water, or she's still full of, like you say, full of vinegar. That is a nice fish. Way to go, Dwayne. Way to go. And away she goes. Come on, kick, baby. There she goes. There she goes. That was a nice fish. Do you agree? Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Anybody that comes trout fishing, or anybody that knows anything about speckled trout fishing, you can't ask for a better day. We got a 27.5. That one was probably right at 27.5 inches. Caught another one was what, 25? We have just been tearing the big sea trout up all day. What a place to come and catch big sea trout. If y'all want to do it, make sure you go to the website and look up Capt Dwayne. He's right there on the website. You'll be able to book a charter with him and come down and just have a ball catching some fish. Dwayne, I don't think we can do much better. What do you think, brother?
Man, we've had a great day as it is.
That
Had
is
some big
that is
trout,
awesome.
good redfish.
Anybody would be happy. Anybody should be ecstatic if they can come do that. I know I am. I mean, you can't. I haven't had much better day trout fishing than that back home in Mosquito Lagoon. Once again, y'all, if y'all want to come and do this, we catch trout, we catch redfish. You know, we've just had an awesome day, and I mean, the day ain't over yet, but I think we've run out of time. We caught so many fish. Once again, if y'all want to do this, go to the website, addictivefishing.com, look him up on the website and book a charter. That's about it for today. We'll see y'all again next week.
Oh my goodness, coming completely out of the water.
And that one there is just now starting to grow back.
Knew that was gonna happen eventually. There's my blooper.
That's what happens when the cameraman falls.